Today, we're diving into a really powerful narrative poem called Another Woman. It's a story that's told not in big, loud speeches, but in the quiet, crushing weight of what's never said, in all the little silent moments of one woman's day. So, these are the final, haunting lines of the poem. It's this shocking, fiery image that just kind of hangs there in the air. But how on earth do we get here? What could possibly lead to this moment? To really understand, we have to go all the way back to the beginning. So, we're going to follow the quiet tragedy of one woman's life over the course of a single day. And through her story, the poem shows us a much larger and unfortunately far too common story of silence and suffering. The poem doesn't kick off with some big dramatic scene. Nope. It starts with something completely ordinary, something we can all recognize, a trip to the market. She's just there buying vegetables, carefully picking out the best bunch. It's a moment we can all picture, right? But here's the thing. It's right here, in this totally normal setting, that the tragedy really begins to unfold. And it's not with some huge, catastrophic event. It's with a series of small, almost invisible sacrifices that just slowly, piece by piece, wear her down. The detail here is just so vivid. You can almost feel it, can't you? This isn't just about food. It's about a simple desire, a small, personal, totally human want. And just for a split second, she lets herself imagine that tiny pleasure. And then, bam, this word just crashes down on her. Extravagance. And the key part of that definition is uncontrolled. To her, or maybe to the world that shaped her, this simple desire for a radish isn't just a small treat. It's seen as a reckless, uncontrolled indulgence. And so, just like that, she puts it aside. This is the first really crucial action in the poem. It's a tiny act of suppressing herself, a small but really profound sacrifice that ends up setting the tone for her entire day. All of this paints a really clear picture of her life, doesn't it? It's so meticulous, so burdened, constantly on guard. She carefully chooses the greens, carefully counts her money, carefully ties it away. And even when she's home, she has to shield herself. Every single action is about caution and defense. Okay, so the pressure is building inside her. But now the story shifts from those internal struggles to the external forces that are waiting for her back at home. The silence is about to be broken, and trust me, it's not in a good way. Before anyone even says a word, this is what she's met with. Dark looks. It's a silent, constant judgment. It's this heavy, hostile atmosphere that she has to walk into the moment she gets through the door. And then the words start. But listen to how the poem describes them. They beat their wings against her. This isn't a conversation. It's like a physical assault, a relentless attack. And that one little word, usual, it tells you everything. This is her normal. This happens every single day. And the actual content of this abuse is just brutal. She's being blamed for her very existence. She's seen as a burden, a shadow, someone who darkens the home. This isn't just criticism. It's a complete attack on her fundamental worth as a person. So, in the face of all of this, the looks, the curses, the daily verbal beatings, her position is crystal clear. She is completely powerless. She's not just silent by choice, she's been denied the very right to have a voice at all. So you can feel it, right? All this pressure, the desires she's denied, the constant judgment, the verbal abuse, the complete powerlessness. It has all been building and building. And now, as she's crouching by the stove, her world is about to hit its breaking point. This image is just, wow. The pot is cheap, old, and blackened from constant use. Sound familiar? It's basically a metaphor for how she feels, beaten down, worn out. But the flame is a wing of brightness. It's this powerful, violent, and mesmerizing force. It's a glimpse of something else entirely. And then this line just hits you with this feeling of absolute hopelessness. Her life isn't some path she's chosen. No, it's a destiny she was born into with a man she was bound to. There is no escape route. There's no other future she can even imagine. And right here is the tragic heart of the poem. Her entire existence is defined by being bound. She's constrained, she's silenced, she's controlled. So the only act of real agency left for her is to become the exact opposite, a blazing, uncontrolled, destructive fire. A moment of surprise, a brilliant spark, and then this absolutely heartbreaking line. In a life that had zero options, this horrific act of self-destruction is framed as the first and only real choice she ever gets to make. A terrifying, awful kind of freedom. And just when you're trying to process the horror of what just happened, the poem does something really extraordinary. It shifts its focus. The story of this one woman is over, and now the poem turns its attention to us. The perspective just suddenly pulls way back, and it becomes a collective we. It's not just about her story anymore, it's about our reaction to it. It actually forces us to confront our own position as the people watching from the sidelines. This is the final, challenging question the poem leaves us with. Remember earlier how she shielded her face from the heat of the stove? Well, now we, that's society, that's us, the readers, we're shielding our faces from the heat of her blazing body, from the heat of this incredibly uncomfortable truth. The poem is asking us to really think about why we look away, why we protect ourselves from facing these horrific realities that happen again and again to another woman.